amazing artist. How are you today? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. It's fall here where I am, and that means it's almost time for Halloween. I love Halloween. I love fall. Well, I love all the seasons, but in the fall when the air starts to get crisp and we get to start thinking about what we might want to dress up as for Halloween, it just gets to be a little exciting. I remember one of my, you know how certain memories stick out in your brain a little more than others? I remember being, can you picture it, Miss Jenny Lee? Mickey Mouse. I had big old ears on my head, and that was such a fun Halloween. I can't remember what my sister was that year. I don't think my little brother was old enough to trick or treat that year, but it was fun. We had a house in our neighborhood where the people that owned it owned the Krispy Kreme in our town, which is a donut store. And they gave out donuts, glazed donuts every year. And I remember every year begging my mama, can we go back and get another donut? And of course, you know the answer. It was, no, that's not fair. Just one time to every house. But I still asked every year, just in case we could go back and get a donut. But those are just fun memories. I'm sure you've had some good times. And the other thing is, even if you don't go trick-or-treating, there's just so much fun about Halloween. You know, just dipping, have you ever bobbed for apples? Dipping your face down in that bucket of water to try to get an apple? I tell you what, it looks easy when you watch other people do it, but when you try it, it's hard. You should try it this year if you don't go trick-or-treating. Maybe your family could put out some buckets of water and you try to bob for apples. That is some fun that you can do anytime as long as it's not too cold, because it's kind of crazy. Well, I thought today we would draw bats. Do you love bats? I love bats. They are the coolest animals. Yes, so there's lots of different kinds of bats. Oh, and when I was a little girl, we had bats in the backyard. They would swoosh down at night because they would, I don't know why, but they would swoosh down when the lights were on. They're kind of blind. I don't really know why they would be attracted to maybe it wasn't the light. Because, did you know that bats use echolocation to find their way around in the dark? That's where they make noise and it bounces back so they can find their way. And bats, oh, you guessed it, they're nocturnal. That means they are active at night and they sleep during the day. So we're going to draw our bats today all wrapped up tight, snuggled up in their wings, and they sleep upside down, and we're gonna hang ours from a tree branch. And you can do just one. I'm gonna do two and show you how they can be little buddies hanging on a tree branch next to each other. But I wanted to see if there's anything else cool about bats you might like to know. You might even know more than I do about bats. You know they fly, right? But did you know that bats are the only mammals that can fly, like really fly a long way? Mammals, now not birds. Birds can fly. And there are other mammals that can glide, like they call them flying squirrels, but they don't really fly and can stay in the air and sustain a flight for a long time. They glide from branch to branch or whatever. But bats can fly, and they're very interesting. There's lots of different kinds of bats, and I thought since it's almost Halloween, we would draw vampire bats. Yes, and vampire bats get their name because, yep, they like to eat blood. Yep, they like to settle down on animals and drink a little blood. And their fangs are so sharp, the animals don't really even notice it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt them. It's just like not good for them. And bats can carry disease. So if you see bats around in your yard or outside, don't go trying to touch and play with a bat because they can carry disease. So they're not good to play with. But other bats like to eat fruit. You've heard of fruit bats. And some of them like to eat insects. So they're good to clean up insects and stuff out of your yard. But that's enough bat facts. I could go on and on. When my kids were in second grade at our elementary school, they would do Bat Week and they would dress up like bats and learn all about bats. So I have quite a few bat facts up here in my head. And who doesn't love Batman? I'm just saying, I'm a big fan of Batman. So let's get started. Now, you're gonna want a pencil. I have 2 today in case I break my lead. And remember, you don't want it to be super sharp. You want it to be kind of dull. Not dead dull, like just, but you want it to be not super sharp. That way when you're drawing, you're not digging a big crater in your paper, okay? Now the other thing is, we're going to draw with our whisper lines, remember? We're gonna draw lightly. It's so much easier to erase if you've drawn lightly. And then once we're all got everything balanced and where we want it, then we go back and we press down hard with our pencils. Or if you have a Sharpie, you can Sharpie your drawing after you draw it lightly with pencil. And then we're gonna put a little color on it, okay? I'm so excited. So pencils, erasers, Sharpie, some crayons, and we're ready to go. Now, if you don't have crayons, you got colored pencil, that's cool. You got markers, totally cool. Whatever it is that you have, you can even paint them, whatever you want to do. But I am going to step by step you through some cool bats, vampire bats, hanging upside down. So let's get our paper out and let's turn it portrait. Now remember, portrait means this way, up tall. And that's because we're going to hang them from a branch, so we need a little bit more room this way. All right, the first line I'm going to make just to get started is very lightly up the side of my left paper. I'm going to kind of place a tree trunk, okay, over here on the left. And now, let me tell you one thing before we start that tree trunk. Tree trunks, trees, anything, they're wider at the bottom, right? And then as they go up to the sky, they get a little thinner. Just like our arms are a little wider here at our body, and as they get out to the fingertips, they get thinner. That makes sense because the base of the tree has to be a little bit wider, a little bit stronger to hold the tree down and make it secure, right? So now it's not a big difference, but if you're feeling advanced, start a little wider at the bottom and then come up a little bit more narrow towards the top, okay? You can see the difference. I've got it a little bit wider down here and a little bit narrower up there. Sure is a good thing I got 2 pencils because this one is about to break. I must have dropped it or something. All right, now we need a branch to come off. So I want to come up, find my halfway point, and I'm going to go a little higher because I want to have plenty of room for my bats in here. So I'm going to find my halfway and I'm going to come up a little more. Now my branch is not going to come just totally straight across. It kind of grows up and out. So I'm going to have it go across, but it's kind of going to go, see how it's going up just a bit? And I'm going to let it just, it can go right off the page if you want. I'm going to stop mine right there, but it can go right off the page or it can stop. Now here's the thing, when it's closer to the trunk, it is wider. And then watch how I get this line. Oh, see how I'm getting thinner? I almost forgot though. Don't make it straight. This is where you can't mess up, guy. It is so cool to let it go bumpy and gnarly and kind of roll, and it can have a few little wiggles, and that looks, the fancy word is organic, but that just means like nature. Nothing's perfectly straight in nature. And see, as I come out to the end, see how I got skinnier? Very skinny, a little bit thicker. Ta-da! But look how I just bumped along. It's not straight, super easy. You can do it. Now remember, I'm drawing dark so that you can see. But you draw lightly because we're going to put some little bat feet over this in a minute and we'll need to erase some of it, okay? So draw lightly. Now I want another branch that's going to come from right here, and I'm going to have it come right on up this way. And I think I'm gonna have something come this way. See how I got skinnier at the end, a little thicker here? I got a little wonky crazy right there. Do you see how I got really thick at the end there? That is not correct. It's supposed to get a little thinner, isn't it, silly Miss Jenny Lee? All right, so now I want you to think of the letter Y, okay? So look how that kind of makes a Y. I'm gonna make this, see this line right here? I'm gonna come and I'm gonna make that. See how that kind of made a Y? I'm gonna make this have a friend that kind of comes off right there. That kind of looks like a Y, doesn't it? Maybe something else is gonna come here, kind of like a Y. Maybe we've got something coming up. That doesn't really look like a Y, but if I do this, it does. Look at that. Ha, a Y. My little guy, now remember, I'm gonna put my bats here. So let's save room for our bats. I might put like a little one. Oh, let's do this. Look here. If you come here a little thick and then it's like that. Now stop and you can go, make like a little shape. It broke off. Ha! You see how you can make one that looks like it got broken off? You don't have to add one, but you can. Now, I always like to put a knot in my tree trunk. Have you ever seen a knot in a tree trunk? I like to do that by, maybe a little animal lives in there, but I like to do that by making like a little oval. And sometimes I don't even, see how I left part of it open? And then just kind of come around. Makes it look more natural if it's not just like, this is where I drew what we're gonna do today, but if you do this, that's the way some people do a knot. And you can do it that way, but it looks a little more natural if you kind of break up your line a little bit, do you see? And then sometimes I like to bring it on down, whoa, and bring part of that line on down and stop. See how I left a little space there? Maybe it's kind of coming up. All right, so I've got up and down. Now I'm gonna put a little connector there. Let's put this is just, I can't talk today, suggesting some bark. So I'm just making a few little lines. See how they're kind of dotted and dashed? See how that makes it look kind of like a suggestion of bark? And my knot, now maybe in the middle of my knot there's a dark spot. I kind of like that. Notice too, it's not a perfect circle. It's not a perfect oval. That's what makes it even more fun, because nothing has to be perfect. It can be a little wonky, and it's actually better because, again, that word organic, it looks a little bit more organic or natural, right? Now, if you want, you can come in and give a few little bark lines in your smaller branches. I might just add a few. That's nice. I like that. Who's ready for some bats now? All right. The first step for our bats, let me remember what I planned to draw today. I sketched out my little, I gave it away. That's what we're drawing, silly me. All right, the way I like to do this is, I want to plan where my little feet are gonna go. I'm gonna put a dot there, and I'm probably gonna put a bat over here. See, I put like a little light mark. There's some little feet. I wanna come down from that just a little under my branch. See how I'm gonna, put that dot there and got us all confused. So let me come down from my branch to right there. Can you see those dots? I'm gonna make mine darker. You don't need to make a nice dark dot because you want to not have it be real noticeable. I'm trying to let it be noticeable for you so you'll know where we're gonna do it and what we're doing. Now, the next shape is kind of like a upside down V, but not real sharp. So we're gonna kind of start here and kind of go doot, 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 and see how I'm curving a little? And and I curved a little. You see that? That wasn't so hard, was it? So it's kind of like an upside down V, except it curves a little. And you know what? If you even want to make this side, if you make it skinny, it's okay. You got a skinny bat. Maybe you want your bat to be a little bit thicker. You can come out and make it a little bit thicker. See, I mess up and I change my mind too sometimes. I like that. That looks good enough. All right, now here's the next line. This is cool. All right, now we're not gonna connect these. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it to here. Do you see how I did that? Not all the way to the edge, just a little curve. And here comes the fun part. Now from this corner, we've got this and that. Do you see how we've got that shape? I'm gonna put 2 more lines. I'm gonna put me some dots there if you want, and we're gonna go boop, 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 boop. All right, and then watch what happens next. This is the exciting part. From the bottom, we're gonna go bloop, bloop, bloop. Ha, cool, huh? That's his bat wing wrapped around his little body. And then the other wing is underneath, so you don't see it as much. So you'll come from right here and just go boop, boop, boop. And it's tucked underneath. And that is actually how they sleep. They wrap themselves up in their little wings, and that's how they sleep during the daytime. Because at night, remember, they're flying around looking for food and stuff. All right, have you got that much? If not, you can pause me, or you can rewind me and watch again, but I'm gonna move on, and we're going to add the feet. Now, they're hanging upside down. Don't be worried about this. It looks a little tricky, but it's not. So from right here at the bottom of the point, we're gonna have a little foot there, little foot there. Now notice I stopped at the branch because I'm gonna wrap those little feet, I don't know what you call them, claws, around that branch. So I want you to come up. Now, I got to the top, and then I'm gonna go bump, bump, bump. Do you see how I gave it 3 little bumps? Then I'm gonna come back down, and then I'm gonna go like that. That shows his little claws bumping around. So then again, I'm gonna come up to the right and the left, and then what are we doing? Bump, bump, bump. Here we go. Bump, bump, bump. And then we're just gonna draw the little lines in there. And there's our little dude hanging onto our little branch. So cute. Now, if you want, you can go in and erase out that little tree line, but you don't have to because the crayons or the markers or colored pencils are gonna cover that up. But in case you're older or you're feeling a little advanced and you don't want to have that tree line in there, you can just erase it out. I didn't erase mine out all the way because I'm pressing down really hard, remember? And you're drawing lightly. And even if you forgot and you're not drawing lightly, it's still awesome. It's gonna be just fine. And I bet it's looking really cool. What's he missing? A head! He needs a head. Okay, so watch this. Now, their heads are kind of small. Everybody thinks they might have a big head, but bats actually have kind of a little small head. So I'm gonna come up in here, and he's all tucked in, right? So his little head's just gonna stick out a little. So let's get it coming like that. Hello, I'm just sticking out of my little wings. He's cute already, isn't he? Now, bats also have really big ears. So I want you to think of it, and they're pointed a little. I rounded my point some. I didn't make it totally rounded, and I didn't make it totally sharp. See how I kind of rounded it, but so just add you some ears. I got that one a little bigger, but I like it because nothing's perfect in nature, right? Did you know my left foot is bigger than my right foot? So my bat's right ear is a little bigger than his left ear, but I think he's cute. Now, this next line is gonna make the ear look real, like it's turning. So I want you to start right here at his little head, and we're gonna bring a line up almost to the tip and then just curve it a little. See how that makes it look like it's turning? Again, we're gonna come over a little, start at his head, and right out there and just like it's turning, just a little. All right, my bat, in real life, bats' eyes are kind of small. I'm gonna make mine big just for fun, and I'm gonna make them a little uneven just for fun. Now, you can make yours smaller and perfectly even if you want, but my bat's a little cuckoo, so I'm gonna make one a little bigger, and I'm gonna put one right here. Whee! And then his other one's gonna be just a little smaller right beside it. See how that one's a little bigger? All right, now I'm gonna give him a big old eye on the inside too. He's looking fun. Now, bats have a big, crazy kind of nose. So for that, it's kind of an oval. If you want to keep it simple, make an oval. If you want to do it more like a bat, they have this little dent in the top. So I'm going to kind of come around and go. You see how it does? Hey, that looks kind of like a heart, doesn't it? And then they've got big little nostrils right there. They're kind of like ovals right there. All right, now for the fun part. We're making a vampire bat. He's got to have some fangs. So I'm going to make mine a happy vampire, so he's going to kind of smile. But then out of that comes a fang and a fang. Oh, look at my vampire. That fang's bigger, so I'm going to make this one a little bigger. Now they match. So cute, right? I'm loving my bat. But guess what? He's lonely. He needs a friend. I'm going to do it again. This is also good if you needed to see it again or catch up. If you have already done both your bats because I'm going too slow, just skip ahead and then we're going to get to the sharpening and the coloring. But again, to start your bat, you start at this dot, which is just a little below the branch. You're going to make that rounded kind of upside down V. This time I'm going to wrap my wing the other way. So I'll go like that. See how it kind of curves a little? And once I got that, I'm going to go so I can see kind of 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go boop, boop. And then what comes next? Yep, these little shallow letter U's. So got to match that up and right down to the tip. And then this one comes right into there. Cute. Doesn't take too long. You know, we could do this kind of idea if we ever wanted to do a chrysalis or a caterpillar, you know, turn it into a butterfly or something. All right, he needs a head tucked right in there. He needs some big old bat ears because he's got to have good ears. Why? Because they don't see so well, right? They're using that echolocation to find their way around at night. All right, now give my bat some kooky eyes because I'm feeling kooky. Oh, so kooky, I'm kooky today. Okay, crazy nose that looks like a heart. I did not mean to sing for you, but there you go. I sing a lot. I'm going to give him like a, there we go. That's a funny one. I like it. Now, don't forget he needs his little nostrils. And my bats are happy. They're smiling, even if they are vampire bats. They can't help it that that's what they need to eat. They like blood. That's what they eat. All right. Oh, he's floating. Let's get some feet. I forgot. So let's pull a little foot here, a little leg there. And remember what we did? We came out, and then, you know what? I'm going to get smart this time. Before I do the bumps, I'm going to erase the top of that tree branch. So if you're wanting to erase your tree branch, let's try it before we put the bumps. So now we're going to go bump, 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 and then line, line. And then I'm going to put my left and my right, and I'm going to go bump, bump, bump. And there we go. And now I'm going to put my little tree branch back in the middle, back there, back there. Hey, hey, he's hanging upside down. How's your bat coming along? Okay, let's see if we might want just a few finishing touches. It's totally cool like this and ready to go, or you can add some leaves. So I think I'm going to add some leaves at the end of some of my branches. This one's going to have 2. Now watch, if you've never made leaves before, you just make a curve and then it kind of meets up to a point on the other side, and then I like to give it a little thing in the middle. So let's add just a few, and remember, it could be winter and the leaves are all gone if you want. You don't have to have leaves on yours, and you don't have to put a lot of leaves if you don't want. I just love autumn colors, and I thought that if I added some leaves, it would give me an excuse to put some reds or oranges or yellows or whatever other beautiful colors of autumn in my composition, in my drawing. Have I taught you the word composition yet? That is simply the way your art elements or your art subject matter, in this case our elements are a tree, branches, leaves, bats. It's the way they're arranged on the page. That's called the composition. So I'm adding some leaves to my composition so that I have a place to put some fun colors. Look at that one. I think he's flying. He's coming down from above. Yeah, That's probably enough. I'm good. Are you ready to color it? Oh, Sharpie first, right? All right, now you don't have to, I'm going to. And then what I'm gonna do is speed this part up so it goes real fast so you don't get bored. If you need more time, feel free to pause me and catch up or rewind or zoop, go on to the end. I'm gonna Sharpie first, then I'll check back in, then we'll put some color in, and then we'll talk again. All right, here comes bat time. All right, I've got my Sharpie lines down, but I didn't Sharpie one line because I forgot to draw it in pencil first. So if you want to add this line, you can. To make the wings look like they're wrapping around our little bat friends, there's a couple of lines you can add if you're feeling advanced. Right here where this is, if you take a line and just come to right, straight across, do you see how it looks like it came from behind and is wrapping around? And right like that. Makes it look like he's in a little burrito, doesn't it? So again, on this side, I'm just gonna bring it over just a little bit to the side of his head and right there. And that kind of wraps our little bat up in a burrito. I forgot that part before. All right, I'm gonna make his nostril a little bigger over here. How's your bat? Now, I got a little bit, my Sharpie was a little bit dull-ish, and so it filled in some of my little claws, but it's okay, it still looks cute. And then you know I love dots, so I added a few little dots when I was making my my little bark patterns, okay? So feel free to do that too if you like. All right, now, bats are usually brown or gray. What color are you gonna make your bats? Now, we're artists and we have our artistic license, so we can make purple bats if we want. So you can choose what color bats you want today. I think purple sounds fun. I think I'm gonna make mine purple. And then I'm gonna make my tree brown, and I think I'll put some orange and red leaves on my tree, on my branch. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna get my crayons out. And again, remember, you can use whatever colors you want to use, or whatever markers, pencils, crayons, paint, whatever you have to put your color on yours, or you can leave it just a pencil drawing or a Sharpie drawing, because that looks really cool too. All right, I'm gonna go in fast motion so you don't get bored, and I'll see you back in a minute after I put some color on mine. All right. How are your bats? I decided to put mine in kind of a darkish sky, like they're resting, it's daytime, but it's almost nighttime and they're just about to wake up. So it's still got some blue in my sky, but it's also got some black. So it's almost nighttime, almost really dark, and they're just about to wake up. That's what I decided. Now remember, it can be total daytime when your bats are sleeping because they're nocturnal, right? They're up at night and they're sleeping in the daytime. So you could have it be a total daytime, but I decided to go with that time right before they wake up. So I hope you had fun with your bats today, or your bat. You didn't have to draw two, you can just draw one. How did you put yours? Did you have yours hanging from a tree? Do you have 3 or 4? Did you make a whole bat family? You could have a whole bat family. I don't know, but you can show me by posting it. Have your parent or guardian post your art on our Instagram page or our Facebook page or our Facebook group. And then I can give you a big shout out and a congratulations and your bat looks amazing kind of cheer on the page in the group if you will get them to post it now, because otherwise I can't see what you did, and I love to see your artwork. Now, if they do post it, have them put hashtag AFLB or hashtag ArtForLifeBlueprint. That way I get a little note and I know it's there so it doesn't get lost and I don't see it. If I don't comment on it, it doesn't mean I don't love it. I promise it means I didn't see it and I couldn't find it. So be sure that they hashtag AFLB or Art for Life Blueprint. I'll put it in the description so that they can see and so that you'll know. And do join our group, join our Kids Art with Art for Life Blueprint. That way you'll see all kinds of other things that I don't even put out here, and there's all kinds of how to draws and creativity boosters and discussions for the parents and stuff. We're just a community of people who are loving the arts. We know how important it is for our kids, and also really cool mental health for our kids too, and just mindfulness and gratitude and enjoying the moment and living our fullest life, okay? I can't wait to see you there. I sure hope you'll join our group, and I sure hope you'll post your art so I can see it and give you big claps, virtual claps, I guess, and virtual hugs. I can't wait to see it. Remember, draw something every day. It doesn't matter if it is just a brush. This is my dust brush. I cannot, you know what? I don't love eraser scum, so it helps me just real quickly brush off my eraser scum. It's kind of a little pet peeve of mine. But you know, maybe you just draw your pencil. Oh, look what I found on a hike the other day. This would be hard to draw. Maybe we should do a how to draw that. Oh, that reminds me. Be sure and have your parent or guardian post in our group or our page or put on our Instagram, what would you like me to draw? What do you want to see in our how to draws? Because I would love to do a how to draw along of something that you pick. So you guys can email me or message me, and I would love to include what you choose into our how to draw along videos. All right, until I see you next time, be sure you draw something every day. Just any old thing, just stay in the practice. It's great to relax your mind. Be sure to breathe and enjoy the process and the moments. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.